Okay, students, let's review for your Mod 4 Topic 2 test. Number one, you're going to have a cross-section of a cone. So you need to know what the different cross-sections will look like. If they do a cross-section across the base, what shape it would be. If they did a cross-section diagonally, what it would be. Or if they did a cross-section through the apex, what shape would it be? It's one of those. Number two, what's the equation of a circle with center 4, -1 raised to 3? You should already know the equation of a circle in standard form. Oops, y. In this case, squared equals r squared. So now I'm just filling it in. It's always the opposite, just like we did in point slope form. Okay, so x minus 4 squared and y plus 1 squared equals r squared. R is 3 squared is 9. Very simple. Now we have to complete the square, right, in standard form. So first thing I see, I can divide everything by 4 here. Okay, because I need to get down to x squared anyway. Okay, so I can just go ahead and do that now. And I'm at x squared plus y squared minus 4y plus 2x equals 0. Now I need to get my x's together and put a plus blank. Put my y's together. Plus blank equals 0 plus blank. Whatever I'm going to add to the left side, I need to add to the right side. You should remember this is always 1/2 of b squared. Half of b is half of positive 2 is positive 1. Squared is 1. We'll actually change the color so you remember that it's not originally there. Half of b squared, -2. -2 squared is 4. It's always going to be a positive answer. 1 plus 4 is 5. We get a 5 to the left, we must add 5 to the right. So now, rewriting this in standard form, I'd have x plus 1 squared. Remember, I can just drop that right on down into there. I keep the right sign with it. Plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals 5. And then for the center, I do opposite, just like we did with point slope form. So it's -1, 2, and the radius, remember that equals radius squared right there. So I need to take the square root of it. So this radius is square root of 5. There's my answer. Number 4 says draw a triangle in quadrant 3. So there's a quadrant 3 triangle. You know, both of those are negative, and this is a positive. It says the tangent, which you should know is opposite over adjacent, is 3/4. So they're actually both -3, -4. That's the advantage of putting the negative on there to begin with. So you don't think it's actually a positive 3 and a positive 4. Okay, it's -3 over -4, which gives you positive 3/4. And then that's a 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triple. So you know the hypotenuse is 5. We always know that's my theta, my reference angle between the terminal side and the x-axis. And they want the cosine. You should know cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. So adjacent is -4 over the hypotenuse 5. Okay, so you'll have one of those. It's not going to necessarily be in quadrant 3. It could be any of the quadrants, but you should be able to line that up. I should see the triangle drawn like that, fill in all the side lines, and do it just like I do right here. 5, circle center at the origin with a diameter of 5, which means the radius is 2.5. Okay. Let's change this here to the point 2, 3. Okay. So now it says, is the point 2, 3 on the circle? Well, it's centered at the origin, so that's x squared plus y squared equals the radius squared. The radius is 2.5. Half of 5, 2.5 squared is 6.25. Okay, so I write that out, and this is the point 2, 3 on the circle. I mean, all I can do is plug that in. 2 for the x, 3 for the y. Is that true? So that's 4 plus 9. Does that equal 6.25? No. 13 does not equal 6.25. So it's not on the circle. All I have to do is plug it into the equation and it must be true. Okay. Another way would be if I took the center, whatever the center was, if it wasn't at the origin, I took the center and went to the point 23, found that distance, draw myself a right triangle, find that distance for the radius and see if that equals 2.5, because the radius has got to be 2.5. All right, 6 says y squared equals 16x. Well, since it's x equals y squared, we know it's going to open to the right like that. It's going to be centered at the origin. Okay, so the vertex is at the origin because there is no parentheses to shift either of them. So at the origin, we know we set this equal to 4a or 4p, like I said, between on the book. So I get a equals 4. So the focus is always inside. So remember, this went through the origin. So it went 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 would be the focus. Oh, I'm not even having to find the focus. I just need to find the y-intercept and the x-intercept. In this case, since the vertex is at the origin, we know the y-intercept and the x-intercept both are at 0, 0. That was not a good one to pick right there as far as that. Okay. If the point CD is on the parabola, okay, what other point is on it? Okay, so if I go to the right C, change the color. If I go to the right C and then up D, that would be CD right there. Well, I also know then that this same distance over here, C negative D, must also be on it. So C negative D. Okay. And that's because it happens to have the axis of symmetry at y equals 0. Okay. If it wasn't at y equals 0, then I'd have to know some more information than that. Okay. All right. And D was to graph it. Okay. So there's a graph on there to graph it. So again, we already had done that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Directrix 1, 2, 3, 4. My directrix actually should be dashed because it's really not there. Just that's the definition. There's my focus at 4, 0. Okay. Now I could just sit there and fill in points. Okay. So let's say an easy one is if I want x to be 1, that's 16. Y squared equals 16. Well, then I know I take the square root of both sides. I get y equals plus or minus 4. So 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's going to be a wide parabola going like that. The other way is actually to solve it for x. So it means divide by 16 on both sides. And so I'd have x equals 1/16 y squared. 1/16 y squared. And then I'd want to fill in numbers that would cancel with the 16 ideally, so I get an integer. Well, I know 4 squared, or negative 4 squared is 16. 16 divided 16 would give me 1 for the x. And that's that 1, 4, and 1, negative 4 that we just plotted. Okay. 7, find all the points equidistant from 2, 4. Okay, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. And line y equals 6. Right there. Well, we know the vertex of the parabola is right there, exactly halfway in between. Okay, so there's a vertex 2 comma 5, so that helps right there. Okay, we know this distance from there to there is 4p, so that equals 1. So p equals 1/4. Well, for p, I can also remember our general equation. So if I have that, I have, and then we know that the vertex focus is on the inside of the parabola, so it's opening down, and it's a vertical one, so that's y equals x squared. So the y is at 5, so we do the opposite sign, minus 5. The 4p goes right here, and that distance is 1 right there, equals the x squared, so it's going to be negative, and then x is plus 2, so we switch the sign, and they don't like putting the negative on this side, so we move it to the other side, so that negative is going to go over here now. Okay, and then so you have negative of y minus 5 equals quantity x minus 2 squared. Okay. And if you like to see in the normal form, again, we'd have that negative over there, and I solved it for y, I would have that right there, and that tells me it's got a slope, a vertex of 2, 5, which we still have right there. We can see that, and it opens down. Okay, it'd be coming down like this. I just couldn't write through that. I didn't want to write through the 4p equals 1. Okay, but that's how it'd be going right there. Okay, coming down here like that as well. Your regular graph coming down through there. I just didn't want to interfere with all that. Okay, so there's your equation right there. So you need to graph all this so you can see whether it opens up or down. You get the vertex, the midpoint between the focus and the directrix. So it gives you the vertex itself, so you can plug those in. Remember, it's always opposite signs, just like point slope form. Okay. Next, focus is 0, -4, and the directrix is y equals 6. So I can go ahead and plot that again. Let's go ahead and put that in there. 0, -4. Oops, I forgot to. 0, -4, and y equals 6. 1, 2. Okay, go back to the point now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, -4, and y equals 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Focus, which is inside. Directrix. Oops, it'll be dashed. Y equals 6 on the outside. I know the vertex is the midpoint. So how far is from -4 to 6? Total of 10. Half of 10 is 5. So if I go up, it's right there. We know the focus on the inside. So it's opening down. Okay. This distance is 4p. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 5. Okay. So it's opening down. So again, I have negative then. It's negative then, oops, 4p. Okay, the 4p is 5, and then it's y, or here, gotta identify the vertex, 0, 1. So y minus 1, it's always the opposite. equals quantity x minus 0, which is in just x squared. The negative showing its opening down, the 4p right there. Okay, so simple put could just be y, negative 5 times quantity y minus 1 equals x squared. So if we were to solve that for y, I'd have y equals negative 1/5 x squared plus 1. So I still see the vertex is 0, 1. It's negative 1/5, so that's a wider one, okay, going out and down, okay. So for sketching that, I'd want to pick 5, x and y, plus and minus 5, okay, because 5 squared is 25, I'll cancel with a 5. Okay, so 25 cancels with 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, plus 1 is negative 4. So 5, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I plug in negative 5. That's negative 5 squared is 25. Cancel the 5 times negative 1 is negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there would be my sketch. Arrows shown, goes on forever. Sketch of the parabola. So I sketch it as well as writing the equation. Okay, leave it there. You can leave it there. Multi-choice, you're going to pick one of those. Okay, last one. You have a focus at negative 2, 0. Let's bring in a graph again. So we can plot it. So focus negative 2, 0. Directrix x equals 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dashed, it's not really there. X equals 8. We want to label it negative 2, 0. Okay. Focus. Put the F there for focus. Actually, lowercase f. Okay. A vertex we know is the midpoint between that. So how far is from negative 2 to 8? 10. So I have a 10 as 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the vertex is 3, 0. Again, 4p equals 5, just like our last one. Now this, we know it has to be opening left. And it's x equals y squared. Opening left or right is x equals y squared. So the x is a single one. It's opening to the left, so that's negative. The x coordinate is 3, so we're going to do the opposite, negative 3. 4p goes right in front of there. 4p is 5 itself. And then it's y minus k, whatever the y was, y minus 0, so it's just y squared. Okay, so there'd be the equation right there, or if I was to solve for x, I would divide by negative 5 on both sides, so I'd have negative 1/5 y squared, and then last I'd add the 3 across. Okay. So again, if it asks for an equation, you can put either of those in there. If it multiple choice, obviously you pick the one that works. Okay, that is all 9 questions right there. 19 minutes.